All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning, CSL Cape Coral. There is so much energy in this room this morning, so let's just take a second to get settled. And I am so happy to introduce our amazing Big Love Band who's going to get us rocking and rolling this morning. So everybody just give a hand to the Big Love Band.
Good morning. Okay, so we're not settling at all, actually. So, we got to stand with us. We're going to really bring some energy this morning. The theme is the divine within us. And the divine within us has no fear. So we're going to kick it off with one of my favorites, Fearless. So please sing along and dance with us this morning. Go ahead, Sunny.
All right. Was I lying? Are they not amazing? All right. right, so my name is Melissa Tuff, and I am one of the licensed practitioners here at the Center for Spiritual Living Cape Coral. And I would just like to take a moment to thank Dawn Bauer, who started our meditation today, and she is going to be holding the High Watch for our service. And when we're sitting in High Watch, essentially what we're doing is we're holding a consciousness, a high consciousness of how everything is unfolding, and just knowing that everyone is receiving everything that we're offering today with an open heart and an open mind. And so I am going to welcome you to the Center for Spiritual Living. And we teach the truths and the teachings of Ernest Holmes here at Center for Spiritual Living Cape Coral, along with traditional and contemporary teachings as well. And I think I must have cut the slide out for that welcome, but basically, we are a trans-denominational spiritual community. We believe in all the truths and all of those teachings from the past. And now, one of the things that we are doing here is also including ourselves in this new minister vision statement. And that's because at Center for Spiritual Living Cape Coral and all of the Centers for Spiritual Living, we believe that we attract that which we are. And so we are embodying all of the traits that we wish to see in this new minister that we are welcoming to our community. So I invite you to join me in both stating our minister's vision statement in the I am possessive form, knowing that we are each all of the things that we are attracting in that minister. And then we'll follow it up with the actual affirmation of our minister vision statement. That's the next slide. Okay, so join me in reading the words on the screen here. Really put this on and feel it, because that energy is what shifts the vibrational levels of attraction. So, I am an energetic, creative, dynamic, charismatic leader who is fun, loving, and kind. A teacher and administrator who inspires our community to greater spiritual heights, prosperity, and joy. Yes, doesn't that feel good to put that on? All of those attributes are present in you, and that is why we know that we are attracting that in our new minister. So now join me in stating this affirmation. I am so happy and grateful that our new minister is an energetic, creative, dynamic, charismatic leader who is fun, loving, and kind. A teacher and administrator who inspires our community to greater spiritual heights, prosperity, and joy. And so it is. And now we are going to have another selection from our wonderful Big Love Band.
All right. So as you know, we love to update and change words in the songs that we love. So this is a Big Love Band version of Do You Believe in Magic? Because we all have it within us, right? So please sing along. We're going to need your help on this one, too. Tomorrow to dance all night. We'll go dancing and you'll see how
Yes, I love that energy, getting us going. All right, so now we are actually going to bestow a blessing on one another. And I'm so glad you guys are so well trained. You're still standing. You know where everything is in the service. I love it. I'm impressed. All right, so I invite you to warm up those hands of manifestation and turn them out towards the world, or if you need some of that energy, turn them back towards yourself and repeat the words on the screen after me. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. We know who you truly are. You are the spiritual image and likeness of God. We appreciate you, we love you, and we are thankful you are welcome to the center. And now we are going to have another amazing selection from the energetic and amazing Big Love Band.
Does anyone know Daniel Namod? I think some of us know Daniel Namod, right? Yeah, so we probably know this song, so please sing along. This is a really nice, easygoing song, so I'm definitely going to need everyone's help in singing this one too. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as a love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of love in you. One power, one power. We speak so many languages, have different clothing, different colors, different names. But different is only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same. We remember once we close our eyes to see such distances were never meant to be. Call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem, or heaven's door. It's my heart, it's your mind, it's your soul, it's your sign, it's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth, oh, Father Time, oh, whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe, it's the power of love in you. One power, one power, one power, one power, one power, one power. It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of practice. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. Unpowered. Thank you.
Woo! Happy Sunday. Isn't this a great place to hang out? My name, I am one of the licensed practitioners here at Centers for Spiritual Living, and it is my great pleasure to be here for the reading and prayer for you. And we've been doing a little something different here. We've been doing the standing in the light in this portion. So, because we know there's only one mind, we do not need to say our prayer requests outside. So we've changed this to being a quiet, contemplative time where you bring to mind and heart the person or situation that the light for as we enter into the silence. And so we also know that we are taking the possibilities, the potentialities, the truth of whatever situation or whatever person that we're holding in the light in this silence. And we're just knowing the highest and greatest best. So I invite you to bring to mind someone, something, some situation, and just bring that person, that place, that thing to mind. And we're just going to hold them, hold that in the highest and greatest, seeing through all the illusions and delusions of life, seeing through problems to solutions, sickness to health. Knowing absolute love, surrounding, guiding, and protecting everyone that we are holding in this beautiful field of prayer. And so I'm just so grateful. So grateful for this time and the stillness, so grateful that we get to come together here right now and just holding each one that we have held in mind together in this field of love and greater knowing. So we just release these names, these places, these things unto that law of fulfillment, knowing that it is already fulfilled, pressed down to overflowing in the heart and mind of God. And we just allow, we let go, we let God. And so it is. I think that feels nice there, don't you? Awesome. So this month's theme is living an everyday wonder. It's one of my very favorite topics. I love that we've been doing this. And this week's topic is naturally divine. This week is about living in a way that reflects the truth God is all there is. Moving from just saying the words to understanding how this truth shows up in our lives. And finally, making it a daily sustainable practice. The invitation this month is to explore and deepen our connection with God as everyone and everything on this amazing planet. And we do live on an amazing planet. So the suggested science of mind point of view is that there is that within every individual which partakes of the nature of the universal wholeness, and insofar as it operates, is God. That is the meaning of the word Emmanuel, the meaning of the word Christ. There is that within us which partakes of the divine being, and since it partakes of the nature of the divine being, we are divine as well. This is taken from The Science of Mind, 1938, page 33. And today's suggested affirmation, and I invite you to take it on, is, I am the divine being. My true nature is divine. Ernest Tome wrote that life awaits everyone's discovery of natural laws and their discovery of their relationship with the whole. And this quote from one of my very favorite beloved teachers and mentors, Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith. As the alchemist of your own life, find a bit of the frequency you want to explore and place your attention there. As it becomes your perception, live from there. And finally, from the Dalai Lama, love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive. And I'll add that with them, love and compassion, we all thrive. So let us take this into prayer. So how good it is to take these precious moments right here, right now, to remember that there is only one thing happening throughout this entire cosmos, this thing called love, this thing that is beauty and joy and peace and order and harmony, that is creative intelligence, wisdom, that is ever broadcasting 24/7 in all spaces, all places. There is not a spot where God is not. So I am just knowing that together as we celebrate this service today, that we all receive its blessings, knowing each one blessed. And just knowing today that we step deeper into a greater understanding of our true divinity. Here, each one of us, all that love stuff, that peace, beauty, joy, harmony, all the qualities and attributes of God, each one, we have that cosmic DNA. And so I am just knowing that each one thriving and shining those bright lights of love, and just knowing that all is well and good right here, right now, on this day. And just knowing that the rest of the service continues to unfold so perfectly, beautifully, that our hearts are uplifted by this amazing message from Reverend Gregory and just all the components of this service, that we leave here with a lighter step than we came in, and that we broadcast this out into the world, being that ripple out into the greater cosmos, rippling more love, more beauty, more peace, more joy. So I'm just so very grateful for all of this and so much more. Releasing this word, I allow it to be. And I invite you to anchor it with me by saying, and so it is. Amen. And now, I almost forgot, it is my great honor and pleasure to welcome our beloved interim minister, Reverend Gregory Jewell. I see a lot of new faces in here today. We are in between ministers, and Reverend Gregory has been holding us so lovingly from California even for many, many months. And so please welcome him today. Thank you.
I'm not sure if I'm on yet because I'm seeing the empty stage at the moment. So I'm going to pause until I see myself on the screen. You're on. Can you hear us? Okay, I'm.
Can you hear us?
On. Even even though what I see is an empty stage, and now I see Linda, I don't see myself. I'm on for you all, but I'm not on Zoom. But that's okay, as long as you all can hear me. But let's get me on the online as well, so people who are watching on Facebook can see it too. So good morning, good morning, good morning. So good to be here with you today. And are you all having like this fabulous divine morning, this amazing morning? I know that you are, and I love that there are, so many new people. It's really always an honor to speak to people who are coming in for the first time. And so welcome. Welcome home. You have come to a beautiful place where we recognize your spiritual magnificence, because you are the divine in expression. And so it is my great pleasure to be with you this morning. There's someone I knew who used to say, how are you doing? And he'd say, fabulous, but I'm going to get better. I always love that, because he was like, you're not expecting something greater than that. Like you already said, he's fabulous. And then it's like, oh, I'm going to get better. But it's the truth of our being. It's the truth of our being. We're constantly unfolding. We're constantly evolving. We're constantly stepping into the greater and the greater yet to be. So we've been talking about nature all month, and today our topic is naturally divine, and we're talking today about humans and what it is to be human, what it is to be in our humanness, right? And so let's explore that. Ernest Holmes, I'm going to quote some of what Linda quoted and maybe a little bit more from that same section on page 33 in the Science of Mind textbook. Ernest Holmes said, we find ourselves torn by confusion, by conflict, by affirmation and denial, by emotion, congested by fear, congealed by pride. We are afraid of the universe in which we live, suspicious of people around us, uncertain of the salvation of our souls. All these things negatively react and cause physical disorders. But then he goes on to talk about our spiritual nature, and he says, there is that within us that partakes of the nature of the divine being. And since it partakes of the divine being, we are divine. It reacts to us according to our belief in it. And it is an immutable law, subject to the use of the least among us, no respecter of persons. It cannot be bound. And that means for every single person, every single being, the fullness of divinity is right there where you are, right there as you are. So you are the divine in expression. You are the fullness of the divine. And so what is this thing called being human then? Sometimes you say, I'm only human. I'm only human. Hey, what do you expect from me? I'm only human, which is not really true, because we're not only human. We are actually, the greater truth of us is that we are divine beings with infinite possibility and infinite potentiality. So we should never even say, well, I don't want to should on you here, but it wouldn't be accurate to say I'm only human. What would be more accurate to say is I'm having a human moment, right? I'm in my humanness right now. But the truth of me is that I'm divine. The truth of you is that you're divine. And as I think about what it is to be human, or what it is to be in any other species for that matter, it's like a construct, right? We're a spiritual being. We come and incarnate into this lifetime, and there's a construct that we step into. It's called being human, right? And in this being human, there's a construct. There's a certain way the brain is constructed, a certain way that we're designed to have a particular experience for, guess what, purpose? To evolve our soul, to evolve our being, and really just for the delight of the divine, right? We kind of come into this human experience, kind of a divine forgetfulness, maybe we could call it, where we forget that we're divine for a purpose, so that we can come back to the divine, so that we can go into this mystery of what it is to be human, have all this experience where there's fear and doubt, right? Which is not divine at all, right? The divine doesn't have fear and doubt, but we come into this human experience so that we can experience all of that and yet bring our divinity to all of that, dance with all of that in saying, this too, I am divine and I can transcend this. So we are really here not to say I am only human. We are here to say I'm having a human experience, and in this human experience, I am making conscious divine choices, and I am transcending some of that human. And being human is an amazing thing, by the way, right? If you haven't noticed that already, like being human is an amazing thing. It's not some lowly thing or some negative thing. Being human is an amazing thing. Like these bodies that we have are just incredible. These minds that we have that tap into the divine mind and tap into that divine creativity and create all kinds of works of art, all kinds of beautiful technology, all kinds of ways of interacting with each other and new ways of being and new ways of doing. Being human is an amazing thing. And so we kind of get to come into this earth plane and be human and be at the, some might say the most advanced species on the planet Earth, right? Although we don't necessarily always act that way, right? And of course, I know just because of the infinity of the divine that there are beings way beyond this plane. We're beings way beyond being human. It's scientifically pretty much established that probability-wise, the likelihood of intelligent life in other galaxies, universe, whatever, is pretty much established, just probability-wise, that there would be a very, very small chance that we would be the only intelligent life in the universe. And just from my own intuitive and I think rational observation, it's like, in infinite intelligence, there's more, right? There are more advanced structures out there other than human, and perhaps we'll get to experience some of those sometime when we leave eventually this plane, right? But I love these structures that we're in, right? The structure of being human has certain dynamics to it. Years ago, I was in a relationship, and I read the book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Anyone ever read that book? It's an oldie, but a goodie. And it rocked my world. It freed me up from so many things because it really talked about the construct, right, of what it is to be in a male form and the construct of what it is to be in the female human form, the male human form, the female human form. And it's overgeneralization, right? It doesn't fit every person, right? Because we all have different degrees of expressing our masculine energy, feminine energy, or whatever. So it was, it overgeneralized, but so much of it freed me up because I got to understand, like, for example, the one thing it talked about that was, believe it or not, breakthrough information to me at that time, that, that as men, we're like fix-it people, right? We want to fix things, right? So the woman sharing with us, if we're in a heterosexual, sharing something with us, and she just wants to be heard, which to me was a radical idea at the time. And then now, of course, I look at it, because we all have masculine and feminine. I look at sometimes that's what I want. Sometimes I just want to be heard. I don't want anyone to fix anything. I don't want anyone to advise me. That was radical for me at that time. It's like, oh, you mean that there's a part of this human construct that says, I just want to be heard and nothing to fix? And my total masculine brain energy was, always like, oh, now that you've stated the problem, thank you, I can fix it for you. And it's like, oh, wow, that didn't work too well. But these are these constructs we're in, right? It's called being human. I think about the species of cats because I have cats, right? And there's the world that I have with my cats where I interact with my cats. And then there's the world that they live in with each other. I have two cats, and there's the world that they live in with each other. They have their own relationship in their own world. It's totally different than my relationship with them, because with them they have territoriality, they've got their territories, they've got space things about how close they can get to each other, what they can do, what they can't do with each other, that would be okay, or that get one to start hissing, or what have you, flight or fight and all that sort of thing, right? It's a construct. It's these constructs that each species has of how they're designed, how the divine design of each species. So for us as a human species, we're designed in a particular way. Right? There's those aspects of our psyche of like what it is to be human. So people can study psychology, and people can study other aspects of the mind and our psyche, and people can study our bodies and how our bodies work, right? There's this construct we step into that is being human. But then the beautiful thing about being conscious beings and recognizing our divinity is we get to play with this construct called being human. We are not limited by this construct called being human. We get to see how far we can take being human, right? We bring our divinity into it, which we don't have to bring it into it, but that we consciously choose to recognize our divinity in it. And then we get to dance with what it is to be human and not be limited by it in any way, right? We see that there are certain ways that the human construct is designed, and then we say, okay, now how can I, as a divine being, play with this construct called being human? When I play tennis, part of it for me is like uh, um, getting into our feeling nature and feeling the divinity, feeling the presence of God, feeling that divine energy, feeling that life force energy moving through and as this human. And so when I play tennis, I recognize that when I am trying to just operate at the material level, which means that I'm just trying to exert my will toward the ball and hit it where I want it, and just physical force, total materiality is one result, but a higher result is when I let go and realize that there's an infinite intelligence moving through me and as me, and that this infinite intelligence knows what to do, and I surrender and let myself be used by this infinite intelligence to move me around the court and do things, and I do things that amaze myself, right? And this doesn't obviously just apply to tennis. It applies to all aspects of our life. If we can realize that, yes, I'm in this body, I'm in this construct, I'm having this human experience, but then we can bring the infinite potentiality that is our divinity into this experience. And then we have these great works of art that get created. It's like, wow, when people say, oh, wow, what an amazing thing you've done to an artist. And the people who truly recognize that it is not I in the sense of the human who do this, but it is the Mother, Father, presence of Spirit within me that does all these works. For people who recognize that there's a humbleness to it, right? Where it's say, well, I can't really fully take credit for it. There's something that came through me, but it wasn't me in that human sense that did it. And then, of course, when we start to identify with the I am, and we start to identify with our divinity, we can say, yes, I am did it. But it's not like us in that human sense. So we're really here, I feel, to explore, right, this human construct that we're in. That's amazing, right? We get to play with experiment and experience what it is to be in the human body and what we can do with this body. How kind of heights can we take this body to? We can do practices like yoga and tai chi that work with the body and bring the body, mind, and spirit into it. We can see what we can do with this mind that we have. It's called a human mind, but it's an instrument that can tap into the infinite divine mind, infinite divine intelligence. And so we can see, what can I do with this mind, right? And for some people, we're all geared and wired a little differently, right? We're all unique expressions of this one life. So we can see, like, oh, what are my talents? What are the unique ways that I'm gifted and wired and constructed to bring unique gifts, right? There are gifts that people bring that it's like, that's not my gift at all. And I just admire it so much. Like, so far, at least, visual art has not been my gift. I always admire others who can do paint, who can do amazing paintings and drawings and things like that. I really admire that, because it's like, wow, spirit doesn't show up through me in quite that way. Or people who can make beautiful music, right? So far, that has not been the way that spirit has shown up in me as one of my gifts. And I say so far because I'm not placing any limits on a divine expression through me. Maybe at one point I'll be an amazing visual artist. Maybe at some point I'll step into amazing musical creativity. I don't know. We don't know, right? But in the moment, it's like, wow, I'm admiring that particular way that spirit is showing up in those individuals who do create all of that. Humans, in one word, desire. And desire is at all kinds of levels, right? There's desire at the level of just like pure lust, but then there's these higher desires, like these desires to to seek God, to know God, to experience God, right? But that's that human, that's that energy in us, right? That always has us, seeking, driving towards something, expanding, evolving, growing, stepping into the greater and the greater and the greater. It's amazing to be human. Isn't it amazing to be human? Turn to someone and say, it's amazing to be human, if you're willing to do that. It's amazing to be human. And then it's even more amazing to recognize that not only am I human, but I am divine. The higher truth, the greater truth of me is that I am divine. So being divine, I can bring an infinite potentiality and experience into this thing called being human. And then the real dance happens, the real fun happens, the real excitement happens, because also we can transcend all the conditions, right? Right now, there's all kinds of talk about a bad economy and da-da-da-da. And we get to realize that we don't have to buy into that. We don't have to buy into these stories, right? We begin to realize that the divine storehouse has no less today than it did yesterday or last year or 2 years ago or 10 years ago. The divine storehouse, the infinite source that is our real source, right? We say, what is your source of income? And we list some job or something like that. And it's not really totally the truth. Those are the channels, the vehicles through which our income flows. But the truth is that we are divine beings. And as divine beings, we have access to infinite source. Always. Not when there's a so-called good economy and then now we have less access to source because there's a so-called bad economy. No, we have access to infinite source at all times, and that storehouse is never depleted. So this is where we get to transcend the human, right? When everyone else is running around in fear and doubt and worry about, the economy and prices are going up and this and that, we get to declare a greater truth that my source is still the same today, yesterday, and tomorrow. And it's an infinite source. And beautifully, because it is based in love, it is an infinite self-givingness. And so it is always giving, never withholding, never holding back. Any and all of us have access to the same source, but do we feel worthy? Are we open to it? Are we allowing? And are we knowing, not just at an intellectual level, but are we knowing at a felt presence level that the presence of the divine is right where I am, right as I am, and all around me? We start to live our life that way, similar to what I was describing on the tennis court. There's the physical effort, there's the physical will, and then there's that greater when I can let go and say, now that I've shown what I could do just at the physical, material level, let's see what the infinite can do through me and as me. And so it's a surrendering and a letting go and an allowing. There's nothing special about it. We're already divine, each of us. We're already fully infinite divine expressions of the one. How much of the divine are we allowing in? And how much are we defining ourselves in the very finite sense of being human and having particular structures and having other humans that are bought into ideas of limitation and lack? Or how much are we willing to say, I'm going to see what's possible here, because there's infinite possibility residing in me, infinite potentiality residing in me, and it really is up to me what vibration I stand in, what beliefs I begin to cultivate. Do I begin to align myself with the greater truth that my source is infinite and nothing can touch that? No bad economy, good economy has anything to do with it. Can we begin to touch? There's the story in Scripture about the woman who just wanted to touch the hem of Jesus' garment. And for me, that's a very mystical teaching, because the hem of the garment to me is not about a physical garment that Jesus is wearing. The hem of the garment is about touching the presence of spirit, touching our own Christ nature, touching our own Christ consciousness, stepping into the reality that we are divine and not just human. So can you today, this morning, touch the hem of the garment? Touch the hem of the garment, meaning can you let go of all those beliefs that have you feeling like you're limited, you're in lack, you're this, you're that, the diagnoses, the prescribed things of who you are, all the stories And can you just, for a moment, for a day, for a year, for a lifetime, declare and claim your divinity and begin to act like it's really true, that I am a divine expression of the one, and that if I could just let go, if I could just let go of all the idea that I have to force things to happen and make things happen because of a reluctant God, a reluctant universe, a reluctant power, there is no reluctance. It's all been given already. The answer is yes. And now we get out of the way and allow that divine power, that divine presence to move through us, to move as us. And now it becomes so much more fun to be human because we start to transcend the limiting ideas that we have about being human, and we start to bring in what it is to be a human being, to be a spiritual being having a human experience. Some say a spiritual being having a spiritual experience, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. But there is this human experience we're having. We don't have to deny that. We don't have to deny that we're having a human experience. Just realize that it's just an experience, and that the greater truth is that we are spiritual beings. And so now, being a spiritual being having a human experience, it becomes a divine experience because everything is divine. Yes, yes. Are you hearing me? Are you feeling me? CSL Kipuro. I hope you are. I know you are. Because we are one. We are connected. We are never separate. So I know we are feeling each other. I know that beyond even the words that I'm speaking, there's something in you that is awakening. There's something in you that not only intellectually is knowing that you are divine, there's something in you right now where you are feeling the presence of God, because it is real. It is the very breath that you are breathing, is that life force energy, is life moving through you. It is the very beat of your heart, right? The very beat of your heart is life moving in you. Is that the heart is the center of love. It is love moving through you, moving as you. And so in this moment, this morning, where the invitation is to let go and allow, to admire for a moment the beautiful life force energy that's moving through you, that is moving all about you. Everything is in motion. Nothing is stuck. Nothing is stagnant. For a moment, we let go of the idea that nothing is happening. Wow, I'm kind of have this goal. I have this goal, this intention, this vision, something I want to manifest in my life. Take a moment to realize it is manifesting. It is happening. As long as you are not getting in the way of it, it is happening. It is happening. Say that too, if you will, with me. It is happening. My goal, yes, my goal is being made manifest right here and right now. Say that with me, if you will. Yes, it is true. It is true because nothing is without. The moment we begin declaring something else, the moment we begin embodying something else, the moment we begin telling a greater truth about ourselves, is the moment we begin having a different experience. The moment. There's no delay. So right now, as we're beginning to say, you know what? I am not only human. I'm having a human experience, but the truth of me is I'm divine. The truth of me is I am infinite. Infinite potentiality rests in me, infinite possibility, and an infinite source of creativity, of substance. The very substance that is what all things are made of is available to me in infinite measure at the center of my being, and there's an infinite intelligence that knows how to make that infinite substance into anything that I could ever want or desire. And so today, our task and our goal is not to doubt or worry or be in fear, is to basically say, how am I going to use this amazing power, presence, and substances within me? What do I want to create? What do I want to manifest? What kind of life, what kind of world do I want to create? Not what kind of world is happening, what kind of world do I want to create? I've been praying a lot for our world recently because it's like, of course, right? Like we are creating this world. What kind of world are we creating? What kind of world are we speaking our word into manifestation? So we start to realize the power of our word, the power of our vibration. We start to notice, what vibration am I living in right now? What vibration are you living in this morning? Well, I know what vibration you're living in this morning because you've got the Big Love Band playing, you've got prayers going on, you've got spiritual truth coming forth for you. So we're in this vibration of a higher truth. We're in this vibration of living an affirmative life. And then the intention, the invitation is to take that outside of this sanctuary, take that outside of this service and live our lives moment by moment where we are feeling the presence of God right where we are, and we are feeling it all around us, and we are feeling the flow, that current of life that is always moving, and it's always moving for good. And so we get into that current and we start to look at what is it that I want to be inviting into my experience and into my world. Swami Muktananda, in his book Play of Consciousness, said, the yogi discovers that external objects, the knowledge of these objects, and the one who knows them are all one with the all-pervading God. Thus, the yogi discovers this in everyone. And so we discover that in ourselves and in everyone. We discover that divinity is everywhere, everything. God is all there is, we say. All is divine, all is sacred. There's a song called Everything is Holy Now. And it's like about our eyes opening to see that everything is holy. There's not holy places, there's not holy men and holy women. There's just everyone and everything is holy. There's not just the Son of God, there is all the sons and daughters of God. You, yes, Jesus is the Son of God, and so are you the Son, and so are you the daughter of God. You are the divine in expression. Jesus said, great things have I done, but even greater things shall you do. And his whole message and teaching was to teach us how to do what he was doing. And he said, great things have I done, but even greater things shall you do, because you get the benefit of all these teachings that I'm offering you. I'm paraphrasing that part, but was the message, right? I'm giving you, and if you really look at some of those New Testament scriptures, it's all right in there, right? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They toil not, neither do they spin. And Solomon in all of his glory was not arrayed as one of these. Solomon was a great, powerful king. And he's saying the lilies of Solomon had nothing on the lilies of the field. There they are growing without effort, in grace and in peace. It goes on to talk about us. Aren't you greater than one of these? And the truth is, yes, you are a conscious being, more than just being human. So the invitation this morning is to feel into that divinity. Feel that energy moving in you. Feel that energy moving all around you, and align with that and surrender over to that and allow this infinite intelligence, infinite power, infinite creativity to move through you, so that this divine dance of being human becomes so amazing and more amazing and more amazing and more amazing. That's what I find every day. It gets more amazing. You know, if people say, how long have you been a minister? I say 18 years, but I feel like I'm just getting started. Why? Because it gets more amazing every day. And it's the same for how long have you been on the planet? How long have you done ever? It's like it gets better every day, all the time, as we be on this journey, as we step out of the belief that we're in this limited, finite human body, human structure, human psyche, and begin to let go of that finiteness. And as Ernest Holmes said, that the human give way to the divine. And then we start to see our infinite potentiality manifested. This is your destiny. This is my destiny. This is our collective destiny. Thank you so much for listening today. Let's take that in prayer. And so we just know this morning, we know this morning, without a shadow of a doubt, we know this morning that God is, and there is nothing else. That God is all there is, that there is one power, one infinite intelligence, one life, and that life is that which is moving through me. It is moving through each one in the service and each one that concerns each one of us. And so in this recognition of the truth of our being, that we are not simply human, that we are divine at the highest level, having a human experience, I speak this word and know that today we are all awakened in a greater way to our divinity. and the divinity of everything in our experience, everyone we meet, everything. And so we are living a life purely divine, stepping into the greater and the greater and the greater simply by letting go and allowing that great intelligence and power and creativity to move through us, as us, and all around us in all the ways that it desires to do. For it is doing a beautiful dance through us and as us and all around us. I bless each one. I know that great good is coming forth. And so in gratitude, deep gratitude, I release this and let it be. And we establish it together with the words. And so it is. Thank you so much. And we've reached our time of conscious giving. So let us begin to prepare as the ushers come forward here. This is our opportunity to share our gratitude for all that we have received today and all that we receive so much from being part of spiritual community. And it is all of us that allow the spiritual community to thrive and grow to transform even more lives. And thank you all for your generous giving and the generous ways that you give to this community. We have so many ways you can do it. Make it really easy. You can text your donation to 239-320-3820. You can also send your gift through PayPal at cslcapecoral.org, or you can just go to the website, cslcapecoral.org, and hit the donate button. You can even set up automatic payments. You don't even have to think about it. They just come out of your account every week, every month, or whatever frequency you set up. Also, you can just do it, the way we used to do it in the old days. You can just put a check in the mail and send it to CSL Cape Coral, 406 Southeast 24th Avenue, Cape Coral, Florida, 33990. And then you can even through Amazon, you can select us in Amazon Smile as your charity of choice. And then whenever you make a purchase on Amazon, a little bit goes to the center without you even having to think about it. Isn't that wonderful? And so the center gives to so many different charities. And so you not only do you benefit the center, but you also benefit local charities as well. We also give to our home office, so our greater movement. So you're fostering not only the transformation of lives locally there, but in the world as well. So at this time, I invite you to hold your tithe between your hands if you're in the center or even if you're at home, right? Let's have this be a sacred practice. And let us say our affirmation together here. Today, I know the activity of divine abundance is at work in my life and the life of this center. I give and receive generously as I live in the flow of bountiful good. And so it is, and we'll hear from the Big Love Band. Thank you, Big Love Band. Thank you, Big Love Band. And so we just bless these gifts, knowing that they go forth and prosper the center prosper us, because they, we cannot outgive God, so they come back to us, heaped up, pressed down, and running over. So much good, so much good. Just so grateful for all of your giving. And before I exit here, I want to make a recognition. I want to recognize B. Door, and if you're there, B, you can stand and get some applause. B is our volunteer of the month. So we thank B, and I think that's for September. So we're anticipating great things for you, B, because we're making you the volunteer of the month for a month that hasn't even started yet, I believe. Anyway, we just really give thanks for all the ways that you serve the center, and so many people recognize what you do and how you show up and the gifts that you bring to the center and how selfless you are in offering your gifts. And so you've been recognized, you've been selected by your peers as someone who just is worthy and deserving of being recognized as a volunteer of the month. And you get that parking space for all of September. So thank you so much for all that you do, and blessings. Thank you.
So we had a slide for you and everything. Just to let everybody know what teams you're on and everything, because Bee does such wonderful things for our center. She makes beautiful jewelry. If you guys haven't seen it out in the bookstore, please go check it out. That is her pride and joy right now of the center, and she has done such a wonderful job, and we are just grateful to have her. So I am here to be your human invitation. If you guys have been here before, you definitely know we love to be social. So check your email, pick up a flyer in the lobby, or visit our website at cslcapecoral.org to view or register for any of these upcoming events and classes. That's what happens when we have one clicker. So join us immediately after service today for our monthly community meeting. You can bring your questions, comments, suggestions for our leadership council, and we will be happy to speak with you about them. This is just going to be kind of a brief gathering to go over some of the things going on in the center and to just talk to our community one-on-one to answer any questions and accept any feedback that you guys might have, because this is your community, and so we want to make sure that you guys are involved and that you have some engagement with us, because we would not be here if it wasn't for you. And Thursday, September 1st, you are invited to a beautification flash mob. Patty Carney has been arranging this, and so from 7 to 7:30 here on our grounds, we are going to do a real quick cleanup, and we're looking for a bunch of people to come and help us. Phyllis, would you like to come up and say something about this?
Yeah, everybody, let's come have some fun Thursday night, 7 to 7:30. It's just a half hour. You know, we have such a beautiful sacred space here, and it's up to us to keep it looking beautiful. So just a half hour. What we have in mind is some of us just picking up some dead wood. We're going to be planting some more flowers. We have a hose container that we want to set up. If anybody has a wire brush, we want to work on that metal arbor that is the entrance to the garden and get that in shape so it can be painted. So after our half hour of working together, there will be more fun. There will be ice cream sandwiches. So please, everyone come. Let's have some fun together. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Phyllis. And speaking of ice cream, thank you to Liz Burton, who set up the ice cream social that we had at Sidecar Treats. Everyone had a really wonderful time, and they made us a little sign and everything. Welcome CSL from 7 to 9 p.m. And it was just a nice opportunity for all of us to kind of connect with some of our new people, some of our people who've been here for a long time. So we are looking forward to doing much more off-site social activities like that in the near future. So watch your emails and stuff for all of those announcements. And if you have not heard of this before, our very own Patty Carney, who is a Reiki master teacher, does distance Reiki on the first Tuesday of the month. And the next session is going to be Tuesday, September 6th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. via Zoom. And you can visit our calendar to register, or you can speak with me or one of the other practitioners, and we will get you all set up. And that is offered on a love donation basis. But if you've never had a distance Reiki session from Patty before, I highly recommend it. She's a very powerful Reiki master. And our spiritual cinema is going to be on Friday, September 9th from 7 to 9. And the movie is still determined, so you will get an update in your email on our e-blast that will have that. We do provide snacks and beverages and some fresh popcorn. So register on our site so we know how many people to provide stuff for and how many seats to set up. And it is a suggested $5 love donation. And Linda Lloyd, you want to come up and tell us about the meditation retreat on the 24th?
Thank you, Mel. Yes, we're doing another meditation retreat. I try to do them quarterly, and we had to move our last one, so we have scheduled it to September 24th. So if you're wondering how you can step more deeply and realize your divinity, spiritual practice is a great way to do that, and that's what we do at the meditation retreat. I call it a spiritual spa day, where we just come together. It's nothing strenuous. We just enjoy each other's company and getting on some meditation. This time, actually, Patty is going to be in person with us doing a Reiki session for at least an hour. So that'll be awesome, and some other fun things. And we'll be having a little tea in the middle of it. So I invite you to please sign up online. Signing up is really important. We experienced this last night with a couple of days, right, Mel, before the beautiful gathering. There was only one person signed up, and it was the person organizing it. And but yeah, we still had about 25 people that came and showed up. So for the meditation retreat, I personally, for those of you who don't know me, that I'm a chef, and so for these retreats, I also try to make something very to nourish our souls from the outside in. So if you sign up early, I can better plan for that, and it would be greatly appreciated. So I hope I see you all there. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Linda. And those retreats are also a great way to learn different types of meditation, because I love retreats personally just because there's so many different methods of meditation, and it is a great opportunity to learn what type of meditation works for you particularly, because it's not necessarily a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. And our food drive is continuing. We do have new bins out there, and they're clearly labeled so you know where our stuff is going to be going. You can drop off those non-perishable donations on Mondays and Wednesdays from 9:30 to 2:30 when there's someone in the office, or on Sunday mornings, or on Wednesdays during midweek tune-up. We appreciate your continued support, and the Cape Coral community that is benefiting from all of your generous donations also appreciates that support. Midweek tune-up continues on Wednesdays from noon to 1:30. We have been meeting in the lobby lately just because it's been very warm out. We will start meeting outside when it cools down a bit. And it's just a really wonderful discussion group where we can all get together and read through a passage for the day of the Science of Mind magazine. We do a little discussion, and then we just kind of like lift each other up. And that's that little midweek boost that we might need to kind of get us through that hump. So I invite you all to join us for Wednesday's midweek tune-up. And I know we changed the standing and the light a little bit, but this is also a great opportunity that if there is still something weighing heavy on your heart, or maybe there's something in your life that you just want to see more of, you're experiencing lots of good and you want to stay in that flow, Make our day and let us pray. Practitioners will be at the front of the stage after service, and we are here to give you your 1-minute miracles. So please come up and speak with one of the practitioners. If you'd like something a little more private, we'd be happy to step into the office with you and pray you up before you leave the center today so that you're going out on a high. And now, I am just going to close us with a blessing. Oh, yes, Roger, thank you. There are dishes left over from potluck, so if anyone has left any cooking dishes, pans, utensils, things like that, they are in the kitchen right now, so if you could pick those up so that we can clear all the clutter out of the kitchen area, we would greatly appreciate it. Okay, and now I'm going to bless us all as we leave. So, stepping into this space of creative love energy, I am just so grateful to know that there's just that one mind, that one presence, that one omnipotent source of creative energy and love and light and abundance. And I know that that spirit, that presence is right here, right now, within each and every one of you joining us from home, all of you joining here in person, and everybody out in the world. Every creation is a part of God. There is no spot where God is not. And so I'm just so grateful for this union, for this acceptance of this unification with that one source. And I bless this day knowing that it is full of pure potentiality, and that each one here leaves here a little bit more uplifted, enlightened, and up-leveled. And we take that energy out into our communities, into our homes, and we are creating that peace, that abundance, that love, that light, that divine energy that we wish to see in the world. It radiates out like a ripple on a lake, and it is just spawning more and more and more of itself. So I bless each and every one of you as you continue about your day, knowing that we each arrive at our next destination safely. And I just bless this time that we have spent together today, that it is good because it is all God. And so with an attitude of gratitude, I release my word to the law, knowing this or something better is unfolding right here, right now. And I invite you to claim this with me by saying, and so it is.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great week. But before you leave, please turn around and give gratitude to Jeremy as he was crawling in the ceiling this morning to get our projector working. The poor man was doing so much work today, and we are so grateful because he's keeping us running every week. So thank you so much.